When was the last time you needed to go to a doctor, but you pushed it off, made the excuse, I'm too busy, I don't know which doctor to go to? I think we've all been there. Booking a doctor's appointment can just feel so daunting. But thanks to ZocDoc, there's no reason to delay. They make it so easy to find and book a doctor who's right for you. ZocDoc is a free app and website where you can search and compare high-quality, in-network doctors and click to instantly book an appointment. We're talking about booking in-network appointments with more than 100,000 doctors across every specialty, from mental health to dental health, primary care to urgent care, and more. I use ZocDoc for my medical appointments, and honestly, I think you should too. Stop putting off those doctor's appointments and go to ZocDoc.com/Banterly to find and instantly book a top-rated doctor today. That's ZocDoc.com/Banterly. ZocDoc.com/Banterly.
Hilton brings you new ways to stay, with experiences that let you capture the glory days. Introducing the Graduate Hotels. Each inspired by local college towns, these stays are always original and never boring. Get in touch with traditions all across the country and enjoy a stay that's a class above the rest. Book at Graduate Hotels with Hilton Honors Points at Hilton.com. It's a win-win. Hilton, for the stay.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Banterly, the Gen Z podcast about pop culture, media, and everything in between. My name is Aidan, and today we have a special announcement from the Immigrantly family. We just dropped a brand new newsletter called Hyphenly this past Monday. It's a curated space where we get into all the good stuff: food, holidays, culture, movies, and whatever else you're into. Hit the link in our episode show notes to subscribe. In today's episode of Banterly, we are joined again by Maya.
Hi, everybody. What are you up to this week?
I saw Sinners again for the second time. I hate to admit it, but I did rest my eyes for a little bit. The movie started at 10 p.m. and I was exhausted because I had gotten back from my work trip the day before and then decided to do a 10 p.m. showing on Wednesday. So got to see it in IMAX, which was nice, but it was still really, really good.
Better in IMAX than when we saw it?
I mean, I wouldn't say better, just different, just bigger, just a different view. How are you? What's going on? What are you watching? What are you listening to? What are you feeling?
Well, my college best friend is in town, which is the most exciting update I have this week. And we have so many fun things planned. We're going to go back to our old stomping ground, which was our college in the Bronx, do all of the things that we did, get our favorite sandwiches, go to the park, maybe take a lap around campus, which neither of us have been there since we graduated. I've been to parts of it, but we haven't been there together in a while. And then the other fun thing I'm so excited to share with you, because I don't think you know this, is that I'm learning Italian. Why are you so shocked? Why are you so shocked?
How, why, where, when?
I've been thinking about it for a really long time because a lot of people at my company speak Italian, and it's kind of, there's a generation of people who work in luxury fashion across the globe, but in particular in the States, who had to learn Italian to be in the industry, Italian and French, because most luxury fashion houses are Milan or Paris. So I hear it all the time at work, so consistently. I think I've taken in a lot of it organically. The first time I watched the movie what we're going to be speaking about today, actually, there were so many Italian words that I didn't know, but after doing like a week of it, I just pick up on so much. I think I'm learning really quickly because I'm hearing it so much in the office. So that's why I started learning it. It's just Duolingo, and it's been a week, so it's nothing serious, but I'm excited to learn it. I feel like it's going to help me with my career goals.
You want to give us a little taste of what you've learned this week?
Sure. I can say, Io sono Maya. Io sono di St. Louis. Dove la chiesa? Where is the church? That's what I learned.
Is that in the lesson plan for Duolingo?
It may be the third thing I learned was where is the church,
Whoa.
which gives ni da defang sa da buddha. How big is your house? Big or not in Mandarin, which is also the third thing Aidan and I learned in Mandarin class. But those are my updates. So, I'm excited to speak a little Italian to us for our next Italian summer.
That'll be so helpful. Well, if you've been keeping up with the Vatican and what's going on over there, you know that today is also the start of the conclave to elect a new pope after the recent passing of Pope Francis. So, with that in mind, our question of the day today is, would you ever want to be in a position of power or influence like the Pope or the president?
Bing, bing, bing.
This is a resounding no for me. And I feel like anyone in my life could say that. I have never wanted to be the person to get all the attention and call the shots in tandem. That is maybe my biggest nightmare. I struggle with decision making in general. So being in a position of power and influence and having not only to make a lot of these, even if you aren't the ones making it, being the face of making these decisions as a pope or as a president, and then having to deal with the repercussions that come with those decisions on a grand scale, because these people obviously have influence over hundreds and hundreds of millions, and in the Pope's case, billions of people. That is not a responsibility I want. I have never had any interest in that. When I was little, I wanted to be a farmer. And that is so different. I want to be a chicken farmer, to be specific. And that feels very different than wanting to be like a president or any sort of position of power. I just don't think I'd be good at it. It's too much pressure. I can't do it. You can't make everyone happy. And as a people pleaser, it's my nightmare. It's my actual nightmare. I could see you as president.
It's not a job I will ever go out for, or I agree with you. I feel like I like looking to someone and asking, oh, well, what should I do in this scenario? Like someone that has the answers. And maybe it's just because we're early in our careers. I can't imagine having the answers right now, but maybe one day I'll be like, oh, I could totally be a CEO, something on a lower scale, but nothing like the president of the United States. That is too much. I'm very sensitive. If I see one bad comment, I'm probably going.
One bad review.
If I look at my approval rating, I probably will go into I'll have like a mental breakdown every week. So
your 100-day approval rating, you go on past and you're sobbing. You're like, I'm sorry.
Literally, I don't think
it.
I could take that, because my one TikTok that went viral, there were a lot of comments about my chapped lips. Everybody's so creative and ruthless. And I was like, okay, I'm glad I'm not 14, like when that video was filmed. But still, I would lick my lips a lot. They were flaky, and people pointed that out. But that just goes to show, if I went to the grocery store and saw like a National Enquirer and it was Pope Aidan, President Aidan, this Aidan, chapped lips again, question mark, when is he gonna learn?
The Daily Mail would eat you up for breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
God.
They would.
See, that's the part that I couldn't deal with, the pressure and the negativity, because you can't please everybody, and I can't take that.
What I really noticed with presidents, you typically are really great at only a few things, because you can, like, I want to be really great at my job, but I want to be the best at my job, but I don't feel the need to be the best at everything. And I feel like with president, you have to know about transportation, the drug crisis, climate change. You have to know about all of these things, and you are getting advised on a lot of the decisions you're making. And I think I would struggle at not having my thing that I know really well, that I'm good at, that I can be really like assertive with and sure of. Whereas someone like my drug crisis advisor telling me what to do and what to say and the decisions to make. And I think that's just too many people, too much balance, too much pressure, too many decisions. You can't be knowledgeable about everything. That's why you need good people.
Yeah, and I fear I would make poor decisions on who I get my advice from. I'd be like, health, Dr. Nicole from Real Housewives of Miami, like
A little violin and play it for you.
no, I don't know what to do.
It's so funny.
It's a lot. It's a big job, and it's a big process to choose who fills that seat.
Sì, vogliamo ringraziarti, Vergine Madre di Dio e Madre nostra amatissima, per la tua intercessione.
So today we're talking all about Conclave, a 2024 political thriller that swept last year's movie awards, including winning the Golden Globe for Best Screenplay and taking home the Oscar for Best Adapted Screenplay.
Speaking of Oscars, have you seen the headline that the Academy is making all of the judges and voters for these Oscar noms watch all of the nominations before they vote. I thought this was a prank because what do you mean they didn't have to watch all of the nominations before voting? That it seemed like a joke to me until it's true. It's just now became a rule.
That is insane. I saw that this week too, and I was flabbergasted because I just assumed if you're part of the Academy, that's just part of the job description. If you're going to vote on a category, shouldn't you see all the movies to make a fair vote? And now it just proves everybody's conspiracies further that it's just bought. The winners are just bought. Because if you have people voting to choose, but they haven't seen everything, obviously they're going to go with, I don't know who signed them a check, the movie they've been hearing about the most, the actor they like better, their best friend. Like, it's
I do
crazy.
it too.
Oh, you would do it too for a check, Coco Jones. It'll be interesting to see how that plays out for the next award season, whether who wins, whether it's like a fan favorite, whether it's something that's like an underdog. I don't know, but we'll see if anything shifts. Well, this movie, Conclave, is based off of a 2016 novel of the same name by Robert Harris and centers on a British cardinal, played by Ralph Fiennes, who's the dean of the College of Cardinals and in charge of leading the conclave.
You look anxious. Everything under control.
How has this been kept a secret for so long?
We'll never find a candidate who doesn't have any kind of black mark against them.
Although we sisters are supposed to be invisible, God has nevertheless given us eyes and ears.
It gives us a behind-the-scenes look into the process of Conclave, which is the assembly of Roman Catholic cardinals in Vatican City after the Pope dies. So, as you can imagine, when the Pope dies, there's a big discussion about who the next Pope is going to be from the outside perspective, which is like Aidan and myself. But on the inside, there are also so many discussions about who the best next fit is, where they see the church going. It's a lot of gossip. It's a lot of politics. It's a lot of taking sides. And this is a really great movie explaining what the process looks like to people who have never seen it firsthand.
A few things to keep in mind about the process of the conclave is cardinals come from all over the world to gather, and they're sequestered for the duration of the conclave, meaning that they can't check their news alerts, they can't check X, they can't check TikTok, they have no contact with the outside world until the new pope is chosen. Voting takes place in the historic Sistine Chapel, and the winner needs a 2/3 majority vote. They vote up to 4 times in one day, twice in the morning, twice in the afternoon, and then at the end of the day, the ballots are burned, and a chemical is added to either signal black smoke, which means no pope was elected, or white smoke, which means we have a new pope. But there's so many cardinals, and I'm always like, like, do you think they have a Facebook group? Do you think they have like an Instagram group chat where they send memes? It's so interesting. And this movie did a good job of showing what a more modern take on what this process looks like.
Do you remember when Pope Francis was elected? Because I remember seeing the video of the white smoke from the Sistine Chapel in Vatican City.
Dominum Georgium Marium, Sancte Romani Ecclesiae Cardinalem Bergoglio, qui sibi nomen imposuit Franciscum.
I didn't know what it meant at the time, and I didn't know about the process at all until I watched this movie. Just so far from Catholicism in my education and understanding, but seeing this movie was very interesting.
But in this particular movie, Ralph Fiennes' character, Dean Lawrence, is kind of leading the conclave. So he and the other more liberal cardinals are campaigning to win the papacy over the other more conservative candidates. And throughout the film, there's 4 main cardinals who are vying for that top spot.
You want to be on top? Shout out Tyra. It's a great song. It's a great song.
I hope they put that song in. That's so funny.
I thought that's what you were referencing.
No. America's next top pope. So the first cardinal is Cardinal Bellini, who's played by Stanley Tucci. He is very liberal. He supports gays and divorce, which, is still very, still a topic that people...
Controversial.
It's controversial. Mm-hmm. And then there's Cardinal Tremblay, who's played by John Lithgow, who's a little bit more moderate. There's Cardinal Tedesco, who's played by Sergio Castellitto, who's very Italian, very traditional. And then there's Cardinal Adeyemi, who's played by Lucien Masmari, who's a social conservative, and he is from Africa. So in the movie, it's a big deal that he could become the first African pope. A few other straggler votes are cast for Lawrence and a newcomer, Cardinal Benitez, who was late to this whole thing because nobody knew that he was a cardinal because he was elected in pectore, which means that the Pope didn't tell anybody. And so he was a surprise guest, and he's the Archbishop of Kabul. That's the tea. How did you like the movie, Maya? What were your thoughts on the movie?
I like this movie a lot. The plot's interesting, but it's so visually outstanding. And I say that because every shot felt perfect. Every shot felt like it could belong in a museum. Like, it was just so intentional. And I think maybe that's why certain people would think that it's a little bit slower or a little bit.
Don't say your truth, and then I'll say my truth.
No, I'm only saying it because I've talked to people about this and they thought it was way too slow because of how much emphasis, I guess, they put on the stillness of shots. And that's why I loved it, because I thought that, again, every shot felt so intentional and visually stunning. But also, the plot line was interesting. Again, I'm not Catholic. I don't know a lot about the Conclave. I don't know about Catholicism in general. So seeing kind of the historic, traditional side of Catholicism that is input in the process of Conclave against the modern side of it, which is all of these cardinals are like our parents' age or a little bit older. These people have iPhones and iPads. They smoke and hit vapes. They, I don't know, they like email. That's so weird to think about, that the cardinals are emailing via iPhones. I really like seeing like the juxtaposition between the modern side of Catholicism and then all of the ancient traditions in a process like this, which I think I'm sure speaks to how many Catholic churches operate around the world.
I will say that I tried watching it a few weeks ago because it was on Peacock briefly, and I was having like a movie weekend. So I just wanted to watch a lot of movies just to, take in the culture, And I stopped halfway through. I got an hour in. It's not like this is a long movie. It's not that long. 2 hours isn't that long to me. But I was one of those people that you just shaded earlier when you were talking about what you liked. It was beautiful to watch. They were impressive, but the visuals weren't amazing. I didn't have the same experience as you where I could just watch it for the visuals. It wasn't that impressive. Ralph Fiennes just scares me just because of Voldemort. I just have like PTSD from him. They were all very good. Stanley Tucci's very good. John Lithgow, like, it was very well acted. It was just slow, and I just thought it was just slow, and I don't like slow movies like this.
No pacing. It never sped up and it never slowed down. It stayed the same beat after beat for the entire movie.
The music also, I thought was kind of eerie and I could see that soundtrack being in a horror movie as well. Just this, what is it called? Staccatos. Very cool, very cool. I like how they use the color red. See, this is very elementary observations I'm making, but I was just bored. I have finished the whole movie since. Quality movie. It's well acted. It's well written. I get why it received the praise. It's just not a type of movie that I enjoy watching. It's not my thing, but I can appreciate it from afar. I'm not going to say it's like Uglies and this is the worst movie ever, but it was fascinating to see what this process was like. It was almost like watching a documentary, but with actors. And I thought that was interesting because I don't think I would have ever turned on a documentary about this. So it was nice that now I kind of get to know that.
I'm not a religious person, but when I enter like any sort of temple or mosque or Catholic church or any church really that has the beautiful art and the stained glass ceilings and all the sculptures, I'm like, I get religion. I do get it.
Have you been in the Basilica in St. Louis?
I have. It's gorgeous.
Beautiful.
It's stunning. I get it. Like, that makes me understand it. The artistry that goes into that, and like the ornament of religion that is that beautiful basilica. Like that, I get it. I get it. For all my qualms, I see clearly there. God is with me there. Not anywhere else, but God is with me there.
When was the last time you needed to go to a doctor, but you pushed it off, made the excuse, I'm too busy, I don't know which doctor to go to? I think we've all been there. Booking a doctor's appointment can just feel so daunting. But thanks to ZocDoc, there's no reason to delay. They make it so easy to find and book a doctor who's right for you. ZocDoc is a free app and website where you can search and compare high-quality, in-network doctors and click to instantly book an appointment. We're talking about booking in-network appointments with more than 100,000 doctors across every specialty, from mental health to dental health, primary care to urgent care, and more. I use ZocDoc for my medical appointments, and honestly, I think you should too. Stop putting off those doctor's appointments and go to ZocDoc.com/Banterly to find and instantly book a top-rated doctor today. That's ZocDoc.com/Banterly. ZocDoc.com/Banterly. There's a lot of gossip in this movie. The Cardinals are gossiping, and there's rumors and there's scandals. And I would want it to be like Housewives. Like if Dean Lawrence finds out about something, wants someone to throw a tape. I guess there was a little bit of drama with Adeyemi and the nun. Who was your favorite scandal?
The person that really I have a lot of issues with, but he wasn't a ever serious contestant, which is Cardinal Bellini.
If Tedesco becomes Pope, he will undo 60 years of progress.
You talk as if you're the only alternative, but Adeyemi has the wind behind him.
Adeyemi? Mm-hmm. Adeyemi, the man who believes that homosexuals should be sent to prison in this world and hell in the next. Adeyemi's not the answer to anything, and you know it.
I take so much issue with him because he does this thing, which I think a lot of people who are running for a lot of different offices do, which is they pretend that they don't want it when you just know that they want it. And at the beginning of the movie, he was like, I can't imagine it's me. Don't joke about it. It can't be me. When he is obviously gunning for it the entire time. Now, we all knew it was never going to be him. And just for a little bit about him, I believe in all of his values. I think him and Cardinal Lawrence, they seem like the most progressive, liberal. Again, to Aidan's point, they support the gays, they support divorce, they support unwed women, which they mentioned, which is all great. But Cardinal Bellini felt spineless for me. I think he lacks courage, to Cardinal Lawrence's point.
I can definitely see that, but out of all of the people that I met in this movie, I think he was my number one choice. Dean Lawrence didn't want it, and I feel like you have to want something like this or else you won't, this, you would be miserable. And so even though he was I don't really, me? What? No, I could never. You need to want it to do it. What are your thoughts on Lawrence? He was technically not someone who was campaigning for the papacy, but a lot of people put his name in. A lot of people were talking about him. He never wanted it. Well, Bellini called him naive, and I think he was naive too. He was like, but I thought we just support God. No, everyone's out for their own ass, Lawrence. This is the world we live in, unfortunately. I feel like he was a little bit too blinded by his faith, but then he also had trouble with his faith. So I don't know.
He was complicated. I love Lawrence, specifically because as someone who's questioned their faith through their entire life and now is sort of settled with it, but still have moments of questioning. I think it's so refreshing to see people in leadership have those same moments that they're outspoken about. I know that some of the papal candidates for this upcoming conclave have been outspoken about their questioning of faith. And I think that is just so refreshing because it's one thing to say that you're above everyone else and to make mistakes and not acknowledge it. And it's another thing to acknowledge that everyone makes mistakes and that they're men at the end of the day. Do you think he wanted it? Do you think deep inside he would have wanted it? Because I don't either. No. I don't think he wanted it. And Stanley Tucci accused him of that one scene of wanting it. And I don't think he wanted it.
You can't seriously believe that I have the slightest desire to become Pope.
Come on! Every cardinal has that desire. Every cardinal deep down has already chosen the name by which he would like his papacy to be known.
Well, I haven't.
Deny it if you like, but search your heart, and then tell me it isn't so.
I genuinely don't think any part of that. I think he was ready to bounce, and then this whole thing happened. He was like, oh my God, I guess I have to lead this. I think there might have been a glimpse, a little flicker of something.
The one scene where Lawrence finally, it feels like he settled with the chance or the possibility that he could be Pope was when they were voting. I believe it was the third or fourth day. And you see him write his own name down, Lawrence, on his little ballot. And then he brings it to the front where the tallymen are, the cardinals that are checking scores. And he does the whole ritual of putting it in the bowl and putting it down. And then a bomb goes off in the Sistine Chapel, and you see the ceiling crumble and dust fly everywhere and him fall to the ground. And it's this really big moment where there's a terrorist attack on the Sistine Chapel. The cardinals were all sequestered, and this kind of completely ruins that because now they have to have a conversation about what has happened in the outside world.
At 11:20 this morning, a car bomb exploded in the Piazza del Risorgimento. Shortly afterwards, as people were fleeing the scene, an individual with explosives strapped to his body detonated himself. There are reports of further attacks in Louvain and Munich. The current death toll stands at 52.
That was one storyline, like the whole explosions happening while they're doing this thing, that I was just like, what is the point of this? And I didn't get the point of it until the end, where I was like, oh, that makes sense. Because in that last scene after that, Tedesco is like going on this, how there has to be a religious war.
Un relativismo che vede tutte le fedi, tutte le fantasie passeggere, no? Avere lo stesso peso, tanto che se guardiamo la patria della nostra Santa Madre Romana Chiesa, noi la vediamo ormai punteggiata da minareti, moschee, del profeta Maometto.
You should be ashamed.
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 We should all be ashamed. Perché noi tolleriamo l'Islam.
Then Benitez stands up, who's been quiet, literally been quiet from the get-go. He has said nothing. He's just been watching and voting for Lawrence and just being a little soft-spoken little man. And he's like, well, have you seen war? I've seen war, and we need to lead with love, moving forward and not looking backward. And
with respect, what do you know about war? I carried out my ministry in the Congo, in Baghdad and Kabul. When you say we have to fight, what is it you think we're fighting? La lucha está aquí. Aquí. Dentro de cada uno de nosotros. Si cedemos al odio y al temor.
It was a cute speech, but I was also like, who are you? If I was there, I'd be like, wait, who's this guy again? If in Housewives, he would call him a friend of. He's not even a main cast member. He's a friend of. And spoiler alert, he ends up winning the election. So he's the Pope in the end, which was not something I ever expected.
Well, I was shocked by it. I actually, to your point, I think he didn't seem like he wanted it. I think he's happy to receive it, but I don't know if he actually wanted it. He never said that he did. He didn't have that like ambition to want it. But I think
we didn't hear enough from him.
No, not at all. But his outlook on the church and religion in general was comforting.
But that wasn't the only shock, because the last 5 minutes of the movie dropped another bomb. There was some talk that Cardinal Benitez had like a health issue where he had to have a leave. He had to travel, go to a hospital. And it was not clear what his health condition was until the very end. And Benitez shares with Lawrence that his little health scare was he was going to go to a clinic in Switzerland to get a hysterectomy because he has ovaries and a uterus. So he is intersex.
He knew.
Yes, he knew.
And he thought it acceptable for you to continue as an ordained minister.
We considered surgery to remove the female parts of my body. But the night before I was due to fly, I realized I was mistaken. I was who I had always been. It seemed to me more of a sin to change his handiwork than to leave my body as it was.
So you are still,
I am what God made me.
This might be controversial, I'm about to say, but I think that it just felt like they're trying to sprinkle in some gender conversation that didn't need to happen.
I didn't think it was necessary to the plot, but I think it adds a layer of like, no matter who is picked, someone's always going to have an issue with it. Like to that point of like, they're all at the end of the day, not that there's obviously anything wrong with being intersex, especially with the way that it sounds like the Catholic Church is torn between this very conservative, historic, like traditional Catholicism and then like this new age version of Catholicism, which may be more accepting of gay people and unwed women and, contraception. And it sounds like there's just nobody that's going to fit every category. No one's a perfect fit. I didn't think it was necessary, but it it was interesting. I was shocked by it. I didn't think it would be. We kept hearing about the surgery, so I thought it would be something a little bit peculiar. But yeah, I thought it just was like there's not a perfect candidate for all of the Catholics of the world.
You can't please everybody. And it made me realize that low-key, the best pope of them all was the one who just died because he knew this, accepted it, also was investigating in Tremblay. He didn't seem, as what we know, corrupt. He also was like, no, Dean Lawrence, don't resign. I need you to stay because I know that you're going to help them lead through this in a peaceful and productive way. So I vote whoever chose the Pope, the previous Pope. That's my Pope, not my Pope. Benitez is not my Pope.
Perché consacrata con l'anima e con lo spirito al Padre.
Building a portfolio with Fidelity Basket Portfolios is kind of like making a sandwich. It's as simple as picking your stocks and ETFs, sort of like your meats and other toppings, and managing it as one big, juicy investment. Now that's pretty good. Learn more at fidelity.com/baskets. Investing involves risk, including risk of loss. Fidelity Brokerage Services, LLC. Member NYSE SIPC.
My cat Freddie loves to be brushed and cuddled. But stirring up his cat allergens meant sneezing and itchy eyes. Then I found Purina One Live Clear. It's cat food that reduced the major allergen and my suffering in as little as 21 days. Now, we feel closer than ever. If you have issues with cat allergens, you really need to try Purina One Live Clear.
Try new Purina One Live Clear today. Purina One, a difference from day one.
Al figlio, essa adora con devoto affetto un solo Dio, dal quale tutto proviene.
How does this movie change your view of the Catholic Church?
Does it change my view of the Catholic Church? I don't think it does. It was very educational. I guess I know more about how the Pope is chosen. I don't keep up with Pope Francis. I never did. I just heard all of the kind of the big, catchy, clippy news headlines that would come out about him when he spoke about social justice issues or climate change. And I know that all things considered, he is one of our most progressive popes. And even if he didn't actually do that much for a lot of the issues that I care about, he spoke about them. And I don't know. I feel like it's hard I'm not Catholic. I keep saying it, but I feel like I can't judge, and I also can't praise. It's weird. It's like that weird, I feel so uneducated about it. So nothing's really changed on my views of the Catholic Church, but I'm so tuned in to who the new Pope will be. I've been researching all the candidates. I am so excited about it. Starting May 7th, I will be locked in. I'll be looking for that smoke. We should have a papal watch party.
Literally, to answer the question that I asked you, I don't care any more about the Catholic Church than I did before. I'm glad that I know more about it, but I'll be tuning in, but I really don't care.
I don't think it's negative. But do they care about Hinduism? Probably not. They don't give two shits. I think, if I can say this, there is some validity to the world watching this so closely. And I know a lot of it's just a numbers game. There are so many people who care about this. There are a lot of religions that we have been disregarding, but we all care about this.
I still don't quite know what the Pope does. Once he's what does he do? He's the leader, but what does he do on the day-to-day basis?
It's majority philanthropic efforts too, because I know they have so many global organizations.
So he's just like a face. He doesn't actually do anything. It's just a face.
I think I feel like it's like the president. President makes orders and the Pope says now we can bless gay priests, and all the cardinals around the world are spreading the word that now we can bless gay priests. He's just...
Oh, whatever the Pope says is how the people believe now?
No, not necessarily. The Pope can say something and the cardinals disagree with it. They can act against him, which is also... So I guess it's not the Pope isn't the word of God. So people can still... Or is the Pope the word of God? I don't know. I guess we...
Is anyone out there?
Another salesperson enduring the endless search. Exhausting. If you want to get right to the right conversations, you need LinkedIn Sales Navigator. Whether you're looking for new leads or strengthening existing relationships at your top accounts, get right to the right conversations with LinkedIn Sales Navigator. Try LinkedIn Sales Navigator now with a free 60-day trial at linkedin.com/trial. That's linkedin.com/trial.
Terms and conditions apply!
ChatGPT Plus is free for college students through May. Here's the thing. You've got a lot to do between now and then. Studying for finals, writing papers, trying to keep your life on track. And ChatGPT can help with all of it. It can quiz you for your econ exam, make a study guide from your French notes, plan out your meals and study breaks. It can get really specific on how you like to learn. It can even help you come up with ways to stop procrastinating. So from now until summer break, take advantage of all the ways ChatGPT can make your life easier. Restrictions apply.
Learn nothing.
To wrap up this episode, one of the fun parts about being a pope when you get elected is you get to choose your pope name. So Benitez chose Pope Innocent. So Maya, if you were elected pope tomorrow, what would your pope name be?
I found out recently that one of the cardinals' names is Cardinal Pizzaballa, and I think that's a great name. So I would be Cardinal Pizzaballa. I feel like there'd be a lot of memes about it. It gives into the culture. X would go crazy. So I would be Cardinal Pizzaballa. What about you? You have a great name in there. What's your pope? What are we calling you, Pope?
I mean, the people will say Pope Diana, but that's not true. My pope name would be Pope Saint Louis, and that has it's layered because Saint Pope, so it's like religious, but also St. Louis, growing up there. If you haven't seen this movie already and you want to know what's happening behind the closed doors of the Sistine Chapel this week, watch it, stream it, and if you see it, share your thoughts with us at Banterly at immigrantlypod.com and engage with us on our socials at immigrantlypods on Instagram and at immigrantly on TikTok.
Banterly is produced by Shay Yu, written by us, the co-hosts Maya Shetty and Aidan Taylor.
Our sound designer and editor is Lou Raskin. The Banterly theme music is by Simon Hutchinson, and additional music is by Epidemic Sound.
See y'all next week.